Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Top 10 Tuesday episode. This is episode 71. Yeah, and this week we're going to be talking about top 10 favorite Hammer horror films of all time. So this is going to be my personal top 10 picks. These are not the bona fide top 10 best Hammer films. These are just my personal 10 favorites that I enjoy to watch. Yeah, Hammer films, man. Woo. Could have been a really tough list to make, considering how many films Hammer's actually put out over the years. So basically what I did, like I do with lots of my lists, the first 10 that come to my mind, I grabbed them off the shelf and I ranked them. I think I did a pretty good job with the ones that I grabbed, though. I think most of these are actually my favorites. I'm a really big fan of Hammer horror films in general. I really do like the later Hammer films, like the ones that were in the 70s, because Hammer really stopped making films about 1979 and then resurfaced back in 2008 and then kind of came back in 2010 a little bit more. But yeah, the ones from the 70s I found were just some of the greatest work they've done. They got a little gorier and a little sleazier. They just were a lot different than the earlier pictures from the 50s and 60s and stuff, like the earlier Frankensteins and Dracula films and things like that. So, without further ado, let's get right into this list. And number 10 is a film called the Quatermass Experiment, also known as The Creeping Unknown. This is actually more of a recent watch for me, so that's probably why it's on the list. But man, did I ever love this movie. I didn't really know what to expect with it. I grabbed it because it was a Hammer film. I love Hammer films, like I mentioned. And yeah, I was really kind of taken back by this one. Really awesome stuff. Basically about these guys that are in space. Two of them go missing. One of them comes back to Earth, and he's like infected with this weird fungus. Anyways, they kind of take him to this hospital and whatnot, and he ends up turning into a monster and kind of terrorizing and killing people and stuff. Really cool film. I love the scene in this film where they're actually watching the footage of these guys on their spaceship in space. And it's really cool to see, because this movie came out in 1955 and it's like, pre-landing on the moon and things like that. It was just their idea of what it would look like. And it looks really cool, actually. It's really well done. Got to give Kino big props for the transfer on this. Looks fantastic. It's in widescreen, looks really good. But I highly recommend this film, The Quatermass Experiment. Definitely check it out. Sci-fi monster type flick. Really cool stuff, man. Loved it. In at number 9 is one of the Frankenstein Hammer films, Frankenstein Created Women. I like this film because it's just it's different. It's Frankenstein creating a woman. But just the whole idea of this one where, she kind of goes back on a revenge tip and things like that. Yeah, her boyfriend ends up getting killed, and he gets executed. I believe he ends up getting executed. I think it says on there. I haven't watched it in a while, but anyways, Victor Frankenstein, he, played by Peter Cushing, of course, is kind of dealing with souls and stuff. He ends up putting his soul into his girlfriend's body, which she has just committed suicide, and of course she comes back for crazy revenge and things like that. But this is such a different Frankenstein type film. It's just really cool. I've always really enjoyed this one. Now this transfer is just fantastic on this Blu-ray too. It's just ridiculous. So if you're looking for a good edition of Frankenstein Created Women, definitely check this out. But definitely a really weird and different one. I'm such a big fan of like all Frankenstein films. I love the Universal ones. I'm a really big fan of the Hammer ones too. Peter Cushing just kills it as Frankenstein, as Victor Frankenstein. So in at number 9. In at number 8 is The Vampire Lovers. This is actually the first film in the what's the name of the trilogy? The Fairmount something? I can't remember the name of I think it was like a trilogy of books that were made into films. This is the very first one from 1970, The Vampire Lovers, put up by Screen Factory. Now this is when Hammer kind of got a little more sleazy with their films. Yeah, this one's about a female vampire with lesbian tendencies. She starts tearing up this this kind of village where her descendants and stuff were all massacred back in the day. Of course, Peter Cushing's in this one, plays a general. He's out for blood. Peter Cushing's awesome in this film. But yeah, the Vampire Lovers. I believe the second one was called Lust for the Lust of Blood. I can't even remember what it's called. It's just been a really, really long day. Which I actually do not own. I know Anchor Bay put it out years ago. It's just really hard to find now. I just missed out on it years ago. But Vampire Lovers, love this film. Really good stuff. And that was number 8. In at number 7 is the one that we're looking at here at Rue Morgue. And that is, of course, Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell. This was the last Frankenstein of the Hammer films, of course, with Peter Cushing. They did 6 Frankenstein films, and they're all fantastic. I love all 6 of them. I really got to get my hands on that UK Blu-ray, because I believe this DVD right here is a little bit cut, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, this one's awesome, man. It's thought that, of course, Frankenstein's dead. He shows up. He's in this mental institution. And he starts creating a new monster by, gathering up body parts himself. This one's awesome, man. It's really sadistic and, kind of probably like one of more of the gory ones, I guess you'd say. But yeah, Peter Cushing, man, I love him as Frankenstein. It's so awesome. But you've never checked this one out. I know some people don't really care for this one a whole lot, but I think it's fantastic. I really like this one. So Frankenstein, the Monster from Hell. And that was number 7. In at number 6 is Hands of the Ripper. Of course, it says Read from the Hammer Horror Collection from Synapse. Beautiful, beautiful edition. Hands of the Ripper is basically about this girl who ultimately kind of gets possessed by her father's soul, which her father happened to be Jack the Ripper. And now she's, out doing his bidding, I guess you'd say. Bodies start turning up and things like that. This is a great film. I really enjoy this, man. Really good stuff. Again, more sleazier, more bloody, Hammer. It's not like I don't like the older ones. These ones just kind of always resonated more with me for some weird reason. I think it's probably because I've seen them more. Yeah, Hands of the Ripper. Really cool stuff, man. Great edition from Synapse Films. Definitely check this one out if you've never checked it out. Awesome. Hands of the Ripper, that was number 6. Number 5 is the second film in the Frankenstein Hammer collection, and that's called The Revenge of Frankenstein. The first one, The Curse of Frankenstein, is really fantastic, but this is oddly enough the very first Hammer Frankenstein film I'd ever seen, and it's always stuck with me. I love this movie. Of course, Peter Cushing plays, Victor Frankenstein in this one. And, at the beginning of the film, he is, he's about to get executed by this guillotine. He gets saved by his assistant, and he relocates himself to a new city where he starts, practicing good medicine. But of course, on the side, he's got some ulterior motives, and he starts to create, what he does is he actually takes the brain out of his assistant and puts it into a new person. And of course, you got your film. But yeah, really fantastic stuff. I love this one, man. It's got really good atmosphere. It's it's not like the gothiest one out of them all, I would say, but there's some pretty cool scenes like in the in the graveyards and things like that. But yeah, there's this. I think it's actually in the beginning of the film when dude has a heart attack and falls into a hole. And it looks awesome the way he falls in there. I always thought that looked cool. But anyways, Revenge of Frankenstein, I'm just blabbling on. That was number 5. In at number 4 is an awesome film called Countess Dracula with Ingrid Pitt. This movie's fucking awesome. Love this movie. Really, really great stuff. Ingrid Pitt plays she's a countess that, basically she figures out a way to kind of sustain her youth. And that is by bathing in blood of like young, beautiful women and stuff. So then she has to start killing people, to stay and, keep her youth and things like that. So, again, awesome. Ingrid Pitt, so beautiful in this film. Just amazing. I love the atmosphere. I love the setting of this film. She does such a great job too. She's just so damn believable in this movie. It's just an all around fantastic film. I couldn't recommend this one enough. Countess Dracula. Definitely give it a shot. It's awesome. And that was number 4. In at number 3 is another one from the Hammer Horror Collection, and that's Twins of Evil. This movie is fucking amazing. I love it so much. Basically about these twins. One of them gets turned into like a vampire. And of course, the other sister is not a vampire, so she kind of has to keep the secret from her and stuff. And you got to figure out, things. Yeah, this is just a great film. I love the twins in this. Again, sleazy, a little bit sleazy and stuff, but they're fucking hot too, man. And this edition comes with this fantastic full-length documentary, which is totally awesome. I did watch it when I first got this Blu-ray. I need to watch it again. I can't really remember it too well, but again, just awesome. Kind of gothic feel to it. Really great set pieces. Pretty good gore in this one too, I believe. I can't quite remember if it's that gory, but I think it is. But yeah, Twins of Evil, awesome stuff. And that was in at number 3. Number 2 is I grabbed this edition, which is the, it does have a slip box. I just took it out because it's a bitch to get out, as my buddy Matt, Horror Movies, would tell you. But I'm going to go over here to Dracula's Risen from the Grave. I absolutely love that movie, man. I believe that is the second or third. Is it the third Dracula film in the series? Yeah, it is. It even says in here it's the third one. So, yeah, that's the third one. Oh, man. Christopher Lee just looks so amazing. Like, look how fucking amazing he looks in the film. His eyes, he just resonates. Just a nasty, evil Dracula. It's just so amazing. But I love this film, man. It's just kind of, it's dark, man. It's a really dark, gothic-y, awesome film. He's just out for blood, man. He gets risen from the grave. Gets some blood on him, and it rises him from the grave and just comes back with vengeance. It's a fucking great film, man. Made my top 10 in 1968 on our podcast. Yeah, this is such a great set. The Mummy, awesome. Taste of Blood of Dracula, awesome. Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed, awesome. So, yeah, I would suggest picking this up if you don't have this one. Transfers are great. So that was number 2. Absolutely love that movie. And in at number 1 is another one from the Hammer Horror Collection. That's Vampire Circus. Man, I love this movie. It's just the setting. It's so atmospheric. It's got great kills in it. It's basically about this this small village that gets cursed after they kill this vampire. Because one of their kids had gone missing. They take revenge out on this vampire. He curses the city, or this little town. Years later, the circus comes through. The thing with the circus is that they're all vampires, and little kids and stuff start going missing. And then you got your film. But this is just fucking awesome, man. Love every minute of this one. I couldn't recommend Vampire Circus enough. It's one of my favorite vampire films of all time. Yeah, I believe this was in my top 10 when I did my top 10 vampire films. So, but I couldn't recommend enough. It's just awesome stuff. So, Vampire Circus. And that is going to do it for this list. I thought I came up with some pretty good ones, actually. Do a quick little recap. The Quatermass Experiment, number 10. Frankenstein Created Women, number 9. The Vampire Lovers, number 8. Frankenstein and the Monster from Hell, number 7. Hands of the Ripper, number 6. The Revenge of Frankenstein, number 5. Countess Dracula, number 4. Twins of Evil, number 3. Dracula's Risen from the Grave, number 2. And of course, Vampire Circus in at number 1. And that is going to do it for my top 10. Yeah, man. I was actually kind of going through just some more Hammer films. I was like, man, I got a ton of Hammer films. This is a really hard list to make. I left off a ton of really good ones. Like even Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. Like all the Frankenstein films. I found myself thinking I could have even put, it could have been just Frankenstein and Dracula films really in this top 10, but I couldn't do that. So, but it is what it is. Anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll check you guys next week in episode 72. Peace.